England 1066. Two men, one throne. A battle that would change history forever. Duke William of Normandy claimed he was the rightful king and invaded with a massive army. The English fought with fierce courage, forming a nearly unbreakable wall of shields. But then, a fateful arrow changed everything. King Harold was struck down. With their king dead, the English were defeated. William was crowned King of England. The Norman conquest reshaped England's language, laws, and culture for centuries to come.
June 6, 1944. The Allied invasion of Normandy was not just a turning point on the battlefield, but a crisis of command for Nazi Germany. Despite months of preparation, confusion reigned. Hitler's insistence on personal authorization for troop movements fatally delayed the German counterattack. The High Command's strategy was fragmented, failing to coordinate a unified response against the Allied bridgeheads, which were rapidly being reinforced. The news of the invasion shattered the regime's propaganda of invincibility, triggering a wave of fear and uncertainty among the German population. D-Day marked the beginning of the end. The home front's morale collapsed, and with it, Germany's will to sustain a losing war.
It all began with a single shot in 1914. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand was the spark that ignited a global conflict. But the real cause was a complex web of alliances. Countries had pledged to defend each other, turning a regional conflict into a global one. When Austria-Hungary declared war on Serbia, the alliances kicked in. Russia, Germany, France, and Britain were quickly drawn into the fight. In just a matter of weeks, Europe was engulfed in the First World War, a conflict that would reshape the world. The attack on Pearl Harbor happened because Japan wanted to weaken the United States military before expanding its empire across Asia and the Pacific during World War II. In the late 1930s, Japan invaded parts of Asia for resources. The US opposed this expansion with economic sanctions, including cutting off oil exports, which threatened Japan's military and economy. Japanese leaders feared the American Pacific Fleet at Pearl Harbor could interfere with their plans. They decided on a surprise attack to destroy or weaken the US Navy before it could respond. On December 7, 1941, Japanese aircraft attacked Pearl Harbor. The strike damaged or destroyed numerous ships and aircraft and killed over 2,400 Americans. The attack shocked the nation and led President Roosevelt to declare war on Japan the following day, officially bringing the United States into World War II.
July 1st, 1916, a day that would become synonymous with the horrors of the First World War. Here, along the River Somme in northern France, the British launched a massive offensive to break the German lines. Following an unprecedented week-long artillery bombardment, a catastrophic frontal assault began at 7:30 a.m. In just one day, the British Army suffered 57,470 casualties, a scale of loss never before seen. The battle dragged on for 4 more months, a brutal grind of attrition that achieved little strategic gain. By November, the total casualties exceeded 1 million men. A generation was devastated. Grim reminder of the cost of war, remembered in these hallowed grounds, lest we forget.
The Great War had been raging for 5 months. By Christmas, the trenches were a frozen hell. But then, something incredible happened. A truce, an unofficial ceasefire, started by the men in the mud, not the generals behind desks. Across no man's land, a world held hostage by ideology, a conflict without direct war. This was the Cold War. From the division of Europe to the brink of nuclear war, key events reshaped the globe. Its impact was felt worldwide, fueling proxy wars and a global arms race that touched every continent. Conflict that defined a generation, leaving a legacy that still shapes our world today. June 6th, 1944. The fate of the free world hung in the balance, paid for in blood on the shores of Normandy. For months, a plan of unprecedented scale was crafted in secret. A gamble to strike at the heart of Nazi Europe. It was a mission of heroes. Ordinary men asked to do the extraordinary, forging victory from the fires of hell. By day's end, the Allies had secured a foothold, a beginning won through unimaginable sacrifice. D-Day was more than a battle. It was the dawn of a new era, a reminder of the price of freedom.
In the dark heart of 1888 London, a killer emerged, terrifying a nation and confounding the police. Who was Jack the Ripper? His reign of terror focused on Whitechapel, an impoverished district. His victims were vulnerable women, and his methods were brutal and precise. The investigation was hampered by limited forensic science. The police relied on witness descriptions, which were often contradictory and unreliable. Public outrage grew as the murders continued. The police were under immense pressure, but their efforts yielded no solid leads. Despite countless theories and investigations, the case remains unsolved. Jack the Ripper's identity is the world's most famous unsolved mystery. His crimes changed how police investigate murder, leaving a dark legacy that continues to fascinate us today.
During World War I, one of the most feared snipers was Francis Pegamagabo, a Canadian soldier from the Ojibwe Nation. He became famous for his incredible marksmanship, stealth and scouting abilities while serving on the Western Front. Pegamagabo enlisted in the Canadian Expeditionary Force in 1914 and fought in some of the war's most dangerous battles, including Ypres, the Somme and Passchendaele. Working as both a sniper and scout, he often moved through dangerous enemy territory to gather intelligence and relay messages between units. He is believed to have recorded over 370 kills and captured hundreds of enemy soldiers, making him one of the deadliest snipers and scouts of the war. His skill in camouflage and patience made him extremely effective in the harsh conditions of trench warfare. For his bravery and service, Pegamagabo received the Military Medal with 2 bars, a rare honor awarded for acts of bravery in battle. Despite his achievements, Indigenous soldiers like Pegamagabo often faced discrimination both during and after the war.
December 7th, 1941, a date that would change the world forever. But how did it happen? By 1941, Japan's aggressive expansion in Asia clashed with American interests, pushing relations to a breaking point. The surprise attack killed over 2,400 Americans, wounded thousands more, and devastated the US Pacific Fleet. In response, the United States declared war, officially entering World War II. The lesson of Pearl Harbor is clear. The cost of war is immeasurable, and vigilance is essential to preserving peace.
The Anglo-Zanzibar War is widely considered the shortest war in recorded history. The conflict took place on August 27, 1896, between the British Empire and the Sultanate of Zanzibar, lasting less than 1 hour. The war began after the death of the pro-British Sultan of Zanzibar. A new ruler, Sultan Khalid bin Bargash, took power without British approval. Britain demanded that he step down immediately and leave the palace, but Khalid refused. In response, British warships positioned themselves near the harbour and prepared for military action. When the deadline expired, at around 9 o'clock in the morning, British forces opened fire on the palace. The bombardment quickly destroyed much of the building and overwhelmed the Sultan's defenders. Zanzibar's small navy was also sunk during the attack, leaving little chance of resistance. The fighting ended after approximately 38 to 45 minutes, making it the shortest known war in history. Sultan Khalid escaped to the German consulate, while Britain installed a new pro-British ruler shortly afterward. The brief conflict demonstrated the overwhelming military power of the British Empire during the late 19th century. The Normandy landings was one of the largest military operations ever attempted, but the invasion almost failed before it even began. Bad weather over the English Channel forced commanders to delay the attack, and rough seas made it difficult for soldiers to land safely on the beaches of Normandy. Many troops arrived seasick, exhausted, and disoriented before the battle had even started. One of the biggest problems came at Omaha Beach, where American forces faced intense German defenses. Machine gun fire, artillery, and obstacles placed along the shoreline caused devastating casualties. Some landing craft missed their targets completely, leaving soldiers separated from their units and struggling to organize under heavy fire. The Allies also experienced major issues with communication and coordination. Paratroopers dropped behind enemy lines during the night were scattered across the countryside due to darkness and poor weather. Tanks and equipment were lost in the rough water before reaching shore, weakening the first wave of attacks.
May 6, 1937. A symbol of human ingenuity turned into a scene of unimaginable horror in just 32 seconds. This was the Hindenburg, the world's largest airship, a luxury liner in the sky, crossing the Atlantic in style and comfort. But as the golden age of Zeppelins dawned, a new competitor was rising, the airplane. Faster and potentially safer, the Hindenburg's Achilles heel was its lifting gas, highly flammable hydrogen. A single spark could be catastrophic. As it prepared to land in New Jersey, that spark came. The Hindenburg became a ball of fire, crashing in a horrifying spectacle captured on film. The 97 people on board, 36 lost their lives. The dream of luxury Zeppelin travel had ended in disaster.
April 10th, 1912. The unsinkable Titanic began her maiden voyage, a symbol of human ingenuity and grandeur. Constructed with unprecedented scale and luxury, she was hailed as the pinnacle of 20th century engineering. But 4 days later, in the frigid North Atlantic, hubris met reality. An iceberg pierced her hull. In a tragic climax, the great ship slipped beneath the waves, taking over 1,500 souls with her. Today, her wreck rests 12,000 feet below, a silent memorial and a permanent lesson in the power of nature.
For the men of the Great War, this was home, a world away from everything they knew, carved into the earth. These labyrinthine trenches were designed for survival, a complex network of fire steps, dugouts and communication lines. Life was a constant battle against the elements. The mud was inescapable, a filthy companion that never dried. Days were dictated by routine and dread, endless chores, and the ever-present watch for the enemy's next move. And through it all, the terror. An artillery shell could strike without warning, turning a moment of calm into a living hell. This was the reality of trench warfare, a grim existence of mud, fear, and the slow erosion of hope.
The Tudors changed England forever. In 1485, a new dynasty was born on the battlefield. A king of immense power and even greater appetite. His court was a spectacle of grandeur and rivalry, a marriage that would tear a nation apart. He broke with the Catholic Church, forging a new identity for England, but the price of defiance was high, and the tower's shadow grew long. While kings and queens battled for power, the people endured a world of plague and prosperity. Then came a queen who would lead England into a golden age, defeating the mighty Spanish Armada, cementing England's place as a world power. Tudor era shaped modern Britain.
When you picture a Viking, you probably imagine this, a fearsome warrior with a mighty horned helmet. But here's the thing, it's a total myth. Real Vikings didn't wear horns on their helmets. The idea actually comes from a 19th century opera. The costumes were designed to look ancient and cool, and the myth stuck. Archaeologists have found many real Viking helmets, and none of them have horns. They were practical, not theatrical. Real Vikings were skilled traders, farmers, and sailors. Their legacy is powerful enough without the fiction.
By 1914, this tranquil landscape would become a hell on earth. Stuck in a deadly stalemate, armies dug miles of trenches, creating a brutal new kind of warfare. This was trench warfare, a living nightmare of mud, disease, and constant fear. Key battles like Verdun and the Somme resulted in millions of casualties, yet achieved almost no territorial gain. The Western Front became a symbol of the war's terrible cost and the tragic futility of the stalemate.
During World War I, many soldiers began suffering from a mysterious condition that became known as shell shock. Men exposed to constant artillery bombardments, trench warfare, and extreme stress often developed symptoms such as trembling, nightmares, panic attacks, exhaustion, memory loss, and an inability to speak or move properly. At the time, doctors and military leaders did not fully understand what caused these reactions. The term shell shock was first used in 1915 by British Dr. Charles Myers, who believed the symptoms were caused by the physical effects of exploding artillery shells on the brain. However, it soon became clear that many soldiers who had never been near explosions were experiencing the same condition. This led some experts to realize that severe psychological trauma and prolonged fear were major causes. As the war continued, awareness of the condition slowly improved. Thousands of soldiers were diagnosed with shell shock by the end of the conflict, and the condition helped change attitudes toward mental health in warfare. Today, shell shock is widely understood as an early description of what is now called post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD.